Alright, you guys, let's get started on creating a site plan. So for this activity, you are going to create a basic site plan, which we'll show you some examples of, for your very first website that you're going to create. The very first website that you're going to create is for a fictitious whitewater rafting company. A lot of you are going to want to do site plans for your own personal site. That will come later in the semester. For this activity, you need to do it for the fictitious whitewater rafting activity or website, or you won't get points. Okay, so we talk about what a site plan is. So a site plan is where it's what it sounds like. You're making a plan for your website so that you're not getting started without knowing exactly what you want to do. You are going to determine what are your goals. What do you want to accomplish with this website? Who is this website for? Who are you expecting to come visit your website? Personas and scenarios. So who's going to use the site and how will they use it? You're also going to come up with this style for it. So any branding information, typography, what fonts are you going to use, your color palette, what colors is your site going to use, specific styling of elements, so what are headings going to look like, what will lists look like, what will paragraphs look like, what about forms and buttons. You're also going to create a site map, which is it's a map of your site, so it's where are things going to be located on your site, what pages are you going to have. And then you're also going to have some wireframes that show the general layout. So some examples of site plans. There are two examples here. I'm going to show you guys the family search example. So we'll open this in a new tab. Family Search's style guide is public. A lot of companies' style guides are public, so you can even Google for more examples if you'd like. But you can see here, just like we talked about, on their style guide here, they have a style guide section and a brand section. They have their colors, so these are their logo colors. And here are some of their accent colors. So actually, let's go over to Family Search real fast and see if we can see some examples of that. Okay, so we can definitely see their Family Search green, and we're seeing a lot of blue here. So let's see. I don't see that exact blue, but blue is also a pretty common color. And also it looks like they allow for people to adjust the values of the color. So we have some more colors here. I wonder if they have any splash pages currently. Let's click the getting started page, see if we can see. See here, we actually see their fun blue color. Let's say no right now. And then sometimes in their videos you can see some of their other colors. So if you explore their website, you'll see some more of their accent colors on there. They have their text colors, so you can see they use a gray text. They don't actually use black. They use a light gray background. It looks like they don't actually use a true white for their background. If we go here, I can't actually tell if this is black or gray, so we'll inspect and take a look. Oh, and it looks like their background is white, so they might use that gray color on other backgrounds. They also have alert colors. Oh, and see here, we can see their blue that they use. So they have success alerts, info alerts, and if you go on Family Search and add records or different miscellaneous things, you'll probably start to see some of these colors. So anyway, they have a lot of colors. We're actually not going to come up with this many, but they have gender colors for the person icons on the tree. They have breakpoints, which we'll talk about breakpoints and media queries much later in the semester. They have typography, so we talked about you're going to have typography in your site plan. So they have, this is what a level 1 heading looks like, this is what a level 2 heading looks like, this is what a level 3, what a level 4. Our style guide is not going to be quite as comprehensive as this, but this is a really great example of what an industry style guide looks like. They even give what code samples they have. So this is how you would do a level 1. This is how you would write an H2. You can also see sometimes you might want your level 1 heading to be styled as an H5. So they have classes that can do that. And so they show code examples. They give acceptable use for it or in times to avoid it. They give links. This is a text link. This is a visited text link. This is what lists look like. This is what fields or form fields look like. This is what fields look like when they have validation. So there's something isn't here yet, so they're saying please enter an email, or this isn't correct, or this is correct. Sorry. I'll pause. Okay, so now they have some more text inputs. They have a text area. Anyway, so I won't go through all of this. You can go through it. They have buttons. I am going to show you real fast. They also have, if we scroll all the way to the top, just like I showed you, they have their style guide, but they also have a brand here. And so their brand is actually a PDF. But it has some of the things that we are going to be doing. So it talks about what their goals are, what they want to do, what Family Search's goals are, what they stand for, what their identity is, how their logo is used. They have specific rules on their tone of voice and typography, and different things like that. So they have a very comprehensive brand, but they are, a very large company as well. So ours will be as well. So an example. Sorry, we're lagging here. Let me pause this so that we'll catch up hopefully. Okay, we're back. Hopefully this will be less laggy. Okay, so basically that's what a style guide or site plan is. So you can go ahead and look at a list of parts. You can look more into Family Searches. And again, you can do some Googling because a lot of companies have their site plans and their style guides publicly viewable. So now we're going to get started with step 1, and we are going to create our own site plan. So we're going to go into Glitch. And wait, because my computer's slow. Let's see, there we go. Okay, so I can see I'm already logged in. If you're not, you'll need to get logged in. And here you can see all of your projects. This is my project that I was working on with you guys for week 1 tutorials, so I'm just going to continue on this one. Okay, so we have the project pulled up here, and so now we are going to work. Last week we worked on the about me.html file. This week we are going to work on the site plan. And I'm going to open this in a new window. And I am going to turn off the auto refresh because sometimes it drives me nuts. And I'm going to open the site plan over here. Okay, so this is what we're working with, and this is the template we're going to fill out. So again, we know we're doing a whitewater rafting site plan, so you can call it dry or you can call it something else. You're going to put your first name and your last name here and your section number. So we have our purpose, our audience, which we'll talk about. So basically, we're going to fill out all of this. We're going to come up with our, just like I said, our purpose, our audience. We're going to pick out a logo, pick out a color palette. We're going to pick out our fonts. We're going to style our navigation, do our sitemap, and then we won't actually do wireframes, but we will just stick with this wireframe. So let's get started, because this is a really fun activity and you get to be really creative. So you are going to need to replace all of these sections that are in bracketed text. So even if you want to name your fictitious water rafting company Dry Oar, you need to remove those brackets. And then we'll put in your first name and your last name. And then your section. See, this is bracketed text. You will need to look up your section. I teach a couple classes. One of my sections is this one. So look up your section. You need to put your section in there so that I know which section you belong to when I'm grading. Okay, so now, see, in the comments we'll also give you some guidance. So it says in the header above, add your name and class number, and we already did that. So now we are going to, oh wait, 1 second, let me make sure I don't skip over anything. So we replace the bracketed, and now, oh, they want you to review the site plan file. So we have the HTML file, which we're in right now. And HTML should look pretty familiar because you learned a lot about HTML last week, and you even wrote some HTML last week. So the CSS file is what's going to look new. So it's right above the HTML file, siteplan.css, and this looks a little different. And so this week you're actually going to be learning a lot about CSS, and we're not going to be writing a ton of CSS. We're mostly going to be editing some of the CSS. But make sure you do study the CSS readings this week. There is, in step 1 here, a CSS vocabulary activity, and just like last week how you had to pass the HTML test, you have to pass the CSS test to unlock week 3. So make sure that you do that. Okay, now step 2, our purpose statement. So we're on our HTML file, and here we can see where it says purpose. So you're going to want to put in your purpose statement here. So again, remember, throughout this assignment, you need to replace any text that's in brackets, and we can see the comment here says change this. So we need to put our purpose in here. So the assignment gives some ideas. You might be creating a website to build revenue, to share information, or to share opinions, or share personal interests. So again, you're creating a website for a fictitious whitewater rafting company, and when we're thinking of the purpose, we really want to think about the website purpose. So not just what's your purpose of the whitewater rafting company, but what's your purpose for creating a website for that whitewater rafting company, right? I mean, now pretty much all companies have a website, but still not all do. And if they don't, let's imagine this whitewater rafting company doesn't have a website and they decided to. Why have they decided to get a website? That's their purpose. So maybe we want people to access or to learn more about our company online and be able to book with us online so that we can increase revenue. Okay, that's just an example. You need to come up with your own. If you say exactly what I said, I'm not giving you points. Okay, you don't get to copy me. So, and I just looked at the instructions. The teachers, or the instructions also talked about that. Your purpose needs to be more than my teacher is making me do this, okay? You need to really think about why this whitewater rafting company would want to have a website. And I believe there is a word count required for the purpose statement. Let me scroll down and check. Yes, so your purpose and audience statement must be a minimum of 100 words and be complete, okay? So make sure that is complete and that you are doing this to your best ability. So the next piece that you need to edit here is your audience. So who is the audience of your whitewater rafting company? And a lot of you guys will immediately go, oh, well, everyone's my audience. That is not correct. Think about who's going to go whitewater rafting with you. Are elderly going to go whitewater rafting? And maybe so. Maybe you specialize in calmer waters so that older and younger people can come. Or maybe your rafting company is geared towards more advanced people, so it's going to be like 18 to 35, or I don't know, people who are more adventurous. And so also you need to think about the audience is we're talking about age, we're talking about interests. So people who don't like outdoorsy activities might not be a good audience for a whitewater rafting site, right? Like if I don't like outside activities, then I might not be your audience. So you need to think about that. Some of the assignment says, so who are your target customers? Describe their life, their situation, their age, financial situation. So financial situation is another one. Are you geared to more high-end clients? Think about, what's a good example? Old Navy, Gap, and Banana Republic are owned by the same parent company, but they are all at different price points. So Old Navy is a lower price point, and so would be for more lower income or like lower middle class, whereas Gap would probably be more middle class, and then Banana Republic is for people with a higher income because their clothing costs more. So you also need to think about income, or maybe you're a budget rafting company, and so you're geared more towards college students who might not have as much money, or things like that, so you can make rafting more accessible. So those are really important things to think about when you're thinking about your audience. So go through the list in that assignment and consider who this website is for. And then again, you're going to need to replace all the bracketed text. So we'll just replace the bracketed text. There you go. Okay, step 4 is to choose a logo. So if we open the site plan activity again, we can scroll here, and now we see all these dry oar logos. So you're welcome to make your own as well, but keep in mind, again, it does need to be for a whitewater rafting company. However, if you don't want to create your own, there are a lot to choose from. So you could choose this Rock and Water one, the Rafting Company, River Expeditions, and basically what you're going to do, let's say I choose this Exciting Expeditions, I'm going to save the image, and I'm just going to save it. I guess I'll save it in my downloads, and then we'll go back to my website. We'll go to the assets and upload it. Go to the downloads, expeditions. Wait for it. Okay. And so now we have it. And so we're just going to replace the logo. So we're going to copy that image link. And you guys should be familiar with that process from the aboutme.html. And we did that. So we're going to go back to the site plan HTML. And here's the logo. And we're going to replace the source so that our new chosen logo shows up. Okay, and so now that I've done this, before we move on to our next step, I am going to visit the page and refresh so that we can see how everything's looking. Okay. So we can see that it says dry or site plan, which now that I chose exciting expeditions, I should probably go edit. So let's actually go do that real fast. It's lagging again. Okay. So spelling is not my strong suit. Is that spelled right? Yes. Oops. Okay, so now let's refresh that. And there we go. It says exciting expedition site plan. There's my name, my section. We have the purpose and audience. Remember, these need to be 100 words each. And now we have our new logo. So now in the next few steps, we're going to get started on the style guide. Okay, so for step 5, we're going to talk about color theory. So you are going to click into these links and read more about color theory and the role that color takes in creating websites. The last one talks specifically about colors used in design. So learn about color theory so that you can make a good choice in your colors for your website. And then we will use coolers to choose our color palette. So now step 6 is using coolers. So I'm going to open this link. Okay, so we're going to start the generator. Okay, so basically all these colors are here already. Now if I click the space bar, all of the colors will switch. So let's say we get here and I really like this pale pink color, so I want to lock that, and I also like this purple color, but I don't like the others. I can lock those, and then I can click the space bar for it to bring up some other suggestions. Let's say I like that red, I like the vibrant color, and I like that lavender, but I don't love that red. Now I can click until I find the last color that I like, and I like this raisin black, so I can lock that one too. Now I'm actually going to unlock all of these. I just wanted to show you how that worked. Again, I was clicking the space bar to get the colors to switch. However, I actually want to do a specific color scheme, so I want to show you how to do that as well. So if I look at my site plan again, I picked this logo. So I kind of want a nice blue color that matches and a yellow color that's pretty similar. And then probably like a dark gray or black color to go with it as well. So I am clicking all the wrong tabs. I actually will probably keep this black color because I think it goes well with that logo that I chose. But let's say I want to try and select a color that is pretty similar. So again, I clicked the color here, and here's the hex. So if I knew a specific hex code, I could put it in, but I don't. So I'm going to try the color picker. And I know it's kind of a blue color. And we're lagging again. Okay. Let's see. Looks a little too dark. That might be close enough. I'm going to take a look at it. That's close enough for me. It's definitely not exact, but it's close enough. And then I'm going to do the color picker one more time because I want to do a yellow color like that, or there we go. Okay. That's close enough for me. So I'm going to lock that one as well. And now I want like at least one more color for my color scheme. So let's say I just want one more color. I'm going to click the X to remove this color so that I only have 4 colors because I only want 4. And I'm going to click the space bar until I find a 4th color that I like. And I like the pink, so I'm going to keep that. And so here's my color scheme. And now step 7 is to record the color codes. So once you've built your palette, note that at the bottom of each we have a code for them. So this one is 1E, 1E24. So we're going to copy that, and did it copy? I don't know if it did. Okay. Oh wait. I click copy there, or there's the copy button up here. So now I'm going to go to my site plan and go to my HTML and scroll down to where it says color palette here in step 3. And there's a table with the colors. And so I don't want the black to be my primary or my secondary color. I actually want it to be an accent color. So here's accent 1 and it has a color in there. Accent 2 doesn't have a color. So see, between this table row opening tag and this closing tag, between those two signs, I'm going to put in my color code there, and I'm going to put the hash in. And so I'm going to refresh my page to show you real fast. So right now you can see accent 2 has nothing in there. And so now we don't have the color yet, but it's at least showing the color code. And so first I'm going to replace all of the color codes here. So this blue is going to be my primary color, because that's, I think, the main color in the logo. And again, I'm replacing that bracketed text. I'm going to put the pound sign and then my main color. And I'm going to go back and through and do this for each of the colors. This is going to be my secondary. And then this pink will be my first accent color. Alright, so now all of the correct color codes should be showing on my website, but they're not actually updated. So I'm going to move my base again and go to my siteplan.css. So I'm going to copy my primary color again, go to my siteplan.css, and it should be on file or lines 8. Yep, here we go. There's my primary color, so I'm going to replace it. And this is using what's called CSS variables. We actually don't cover that in this course, but just know we're creating a variable for these colors. So we have our secondary color. We're going to put that in our CSS here. And then our first accent color. And then we're going to put our last accent color, and I'm going to grab the whole thing, including the pound sign this time. I have it on all of these as well. However, this last one didn't already have a sign for me, so I had to grab it. So now I have my colors in my CSS, so I should be able to refresh this and see them show up in the color palette. And there they are. And you can even see that my background here changed to my primary color. And that actually is not too bad of a match. It's not the same, but it's actually not too bad. Okay. Okay, so now our step 9, sorry. Oh, we're skipping a step. Step 8 is to save your color scheme. So we have our color palette here on Coolers. So I'm going to copy this URL up here at the top here. And this URL has all your colors in it. So it makes it really easy to come find this palette later. And so you're going to want to put it in 2 places in your HTML file. So if we go to your HTML file, right above the URL, we have a link. The anchor tag is a link. And so we're going to replace this. Oops, and I accidentally got rid of the closing quotation. And we're going to add our new link. And now, also between the opening anchor tag and the closing anchor tag, we are going to add the same link. And that's so that I'll show you. So between the 2 anchor tags is what this looks like. And then when we put the source or the href in the anchor tag, that makes it actually link to the correct place. So if we click this without refreshing, we can see this color palette. Okay, I'm not going to wait, but basically this is not our color palette. So now if I refresh, it should have the correct palette. And we can even see, like, here's our colors in here now. There's the EECB2B, which is our secondary color there. So, oh, seeing this loaded. See, this is not our color scheme. So now, if we click the link, it should open up our color scheme. Okay, so see, here's our color scheme. So we got our link set up correctly. Okay, now step 9, we're starting to go into typography. We picked our colors, now we have to pick our fonts. So if we go back into the site plan activity directions, we have our step 9 is fonts. So there's a nice video here that you can watch that teaches you more about typography. And basically what you want to make sure is that you want to make sure that your font is readable. And generally you usually want to use about 2 fonts on a page. Usually you don't want to use more than one. If you do, you want to have a really good reason for it. One of a reason that we could have is maybe we use a specific font in the logo that's different than what we use on the website. That would be a reason. And sometimes there are other reasons, but generally you stick to 2 fonts. And then you also want to make sure that they're different enough so they're not mistaken for the same font. So you might choose fonts from different font families. So it's like a serif and a sans serif, for example. And again, in this activity, some of you might choose serif or sans serif as your font. Those are not fonts, they're font families, and I will not give you full points if you don't choose an exact font. We also talk about page load, so you can look for web-safe fonts if you'd like, because not all fonts are on every computer. My computer has different fonts than your computer. And so you can read more about that here. So be sure to watch this video and do that reading before moving on to step 10. But step 10 is to choose your fonts. So you can choose, again, a web-safe font like you should have just read about, or you could choose a Google font. I like to use Google fonts. I think they're more fun. And so if you use a Google font, you will have to import the font. And Google should give you a way to do that. And we also have in your CSS file at the top an import URL for you. So I already know what fonts I like. My favorites are Oh, I'm going to spell them wrong though. We'll see. Montserrat and did I just forget my other favorite? Merriweather. Let's say that this was a font that had multiple words. You would just need to use a plus. So let's say the font was called like Merriweather Bold. It's not, but then you would just do a plus and do the second word. So I'm going to use Montserrat and Merriweather. Again, I do not know if I'm spelling those correctly, so I might have to fix that. So once you choose your fonts, you also need to implement them into your CSS. So we have our heading font here, and I want to use Merriweather for my heading font. And then I want to use Montserrat. Is that 2 R's? I'm just going to Google it real fast. It does have 2 R's. Okay, here we go. I'm going to fix that real fast. I think it needs to be capitalized, so we're going to capitalize that. And then fix my spelling there. Okay, and then I also have some fallback fonts, and we talk about fallback fonts later in the semester as well, so we'll go even more into this. But basically, if Montserrat doesn't load for some reason, then we'll say, hey, use Helvetica instead. And if Helvetica doesn't load, then we'll say, okay, just use any sans serif font on their computer. And I'll actually do the same for the top. We'll do, if Merriweather doesn't load for some reason, we'll use Times New Roman. And you'll notice that I'm using quotes here, and I actually don't think I need to use quotes on this first font, but usually you use quotes if your font name has a space in it. So Times New Roman is more than one word, so I need to use quotes around it. And then I want to fall back to a serif font family. So again, these are font families, not font types. And you need to choose a font type. So I've chosen my heading font and my paragraph font. And now, well, I'm going to check my site plan real fast. And so there's the fonts that they have in there. And I should be able to refresh and see the fonts that I chose take effect. And so I saw that change. So now I just need to go into my HTML and talk about my font choices. So if I scroll down, here's my heading font, and you guys know what I chose. I chose Merriweather, and then I need to give reasoning. Why did I choose this? Did I think it was, why did I choose this font? You guys need to give me a reason. Was it a nice clean font that you thought worked, or was it a fun font that you thought was perfect for a whitewater rafting site? Why did you choose that specific font? Maybe for your heading, you'll choose a more fun, exciting font, and maybe for your paragraph, you'll choose one that's just readable. So this is a clean, readable serif font. So whatever your reason is, just put that in there. Now step 11 is to color your fonts. So if we check our current site plan, you will have your fonts chosen and you'll have your colors chosen. But now you might need to color your text. So I chose this close to black color, and so since it's so close to black, I actually want my text to be that color. So I am going to go into my CSS, and it should be in lines 18 through 22. And so my headline color on white, again, I don't want it to be black. I want it to be my almost black color. And then my headline, color on color. So I'll show you that here. Here's an example of a colored paragraph. So see, the colored background is black and this is the color, but you can change that. So I'm going to do that in a second. I'm going to focus on my text on white first. My paragraph on color is also, I don't want to be black. My text background color, okay, so this is black, so that's that colored background. So I actually want that to be, I think I want it to be my accent color. So instead of, if I have a colored paragraph, I actually want it to be pink, and I actually want then the color on it to still be this black so that it's readable. So my headline on color is going to be that same black color, and my paragraph color on color is going to be that same black color. Okay, so now we can refresh that and see how that looks. And there we go. So I can see that now we have that pink background, and we have my almost black color for my fonts. So now step 12 is to style the navigation. So you can see we have our navigation here, and we have different colors on hover. So we want your navigation to match your color palette. So I want the background of my navigation to be my primary color. So I'm going to go find these, and we're on lines 23 through 26. So let me find the nav background color. I said I want it to be the primary color. And then I want it, so here's my almost black color here. And I want my link color to be that same color. And I also want it to be that color on hover as well. But I want the background color to turn to my secondary color, which is yellow. And so, since I have my secondary color up here, I'm actually just going to copy and paste that right from there. So where's my nav hover background color? There we go. Okay, and so now we'll see, so this is what it's like right now. Right now it's the yellow with the blue links, and then on hover it's blue with yellow links. So now it should look different. Yep, see, it's blue with black, and then on hover it should turn yellow with black. There we go. So it's still my colors, and then that's my navigation. So now we're done, and step 13 is just to turn it into iLearn. So let's check out real fast. Here's what we're grading you on. So using the site plan template, you need to follow directions to create the site plan for your whitewater rafting business. So all of the square bracket sections should be replaced with actual content, and that's worth 3 points. You need a purpose and audience statement, and each statement needs to be a minimum of 100 words, so that's worth 5 points. Your colors chosen, you need to choose your colors, and they need to be showing up on your site plan. That's worth 5 points. Same with your fonts, 5 points. They need to be chosen and showing up. And then same with your nav bar, it needs to be styled. Oh, and then the site plan needs to have the same names that you used in the... Oh, okay. Sorry, I forgot a step. So I believe this is in step 12. You need to fill out your page 2 and page 3. See where it says that. You can pick whatever you want for your child pages, and you can switch them later if you'd like, but you do need to fill this out. So some ideas that it gives, for example, are FAQ, blog, contact us, rivers we run, schedule, and you will have to create these child pages later. So let's say you choose FAQ and blog. you'll want to replace the link here. So we have home in the navigation board bar, and then you'll want to say FAQ and blog, or we'll do book a run. We'll do something different. Okay, so now if I refresh this page, here instead of saying page 2 and page 3, it should have the names here. So we chose FAQ and book a run. And now we needed them to be here in the site plan too. So instead of page 2 and page 3, again, that's some bracketed text. So that tells us we need to replace it. Right here, we can see it here. And there's even a comment here letting us know we need to change that. So for page 2, we chose FAQ. And for page 3, we chose book a run. So now we'll refresh and they should show up there. There we go. Okay, so now your site plan should be complete. So I hope you guys had fun choosing your logo, your color palette, your typography, and this is going to be really fun when we start creating the actual web pages, because you'll get to see your style guide come to life. And so with that, just double check that you have all of these requirements here and then submit it to iLearn. I'm